What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside Out Precision. Today I have a pretty awesome new bow that I think is going to be a really big hit this year, and that is the new Eclipse from Hoyt. Basically, this is an extremely high-end, lower draw weight, lower draw length bow. They say it's a woman's bow, but the only thing womanly about it is, well, there actually isn't anything womanly about it. This bow, it looks badass, it shoots badass, and it's got a lot of really cool features that I think are going to make it a very popular choice for both women, youth, and adult men who might have, a shorter draw length or, a shoulder injury and they can't draw 60, 70 pounds anymore, but they want a bow that's still going to perform really well at that lower speed. So this is the Hoyt Eclipse. Brand new. This is the only one we have. So I'll get into the technical side of things, and then like all my reviews, I'm going to shoot some arrows through the chronograph in weights that I think would be pretty common given the specs of this particular model. So the Eclipse is 29 inches axle to axle, so it's nice and compact. It has a 6 3/4 inch brace height, which is actually a pretty high brace height for the speed that this bow shoots. It has a speed rating of 314, but that is not the IBO speed rating. This bow does not go to 70 pounds and 30 inches, so it's what they call the ATA speed rating, and that's going to be at 60 pounds and 28 inches. So at 60 pounds and 28 inches, with a 350 grain arrow, this thing is supposed to shoot 314 feet a second, which is crazy fast. Probably the most attractive thing about this bow is the physical weight. So it comes in at a mere 3.7 pounds, which is only a 1/10 of a pound heavier than the lightest bow on the market, which is the carbon Mach 1 from PSE. So this is not carbon, it is aluminum. It's just a really nice looking bow too. Vertically there, you can see, I mean, it looks a lot like the Axius, but it actually has its own cam. So this is the Eclipse Cam. So this cam was designed specifically for this bow. They didn't just shrink down a Torex cam or an Axius, the ZTR cam or whatever the heck they're calling it now. This cam is designed for this bow at these specs. It also comes in a wide range of draw lengths and draw weights. So this is the number 2 cam. The number 2 cam will go 23.5 to 25.5 inches. It doesn't have a rotating module like the Axius does. It is a bolt-on module piece on this side of the bow, and then you match the draw stop position to whatever module you have. This particular one is set at 25 inches, and this is a 50-pound model. Now, you can get these, or what is this set at? Let's see, 23.5, 24. This is 24.5 inches right now. Now this is just our preview bow, so I don't have any longer modules for this. But this is a 50-pound bow at 24.5 inches. Now they do make a 3 cam, which will go 26 all the way out to 28 inches. So like I said, that'll fit a lot of guys out there who need, maybe they want a lighter weight bow, or they just want to pull, 55 pounds, but they don't want to back a 70 or a 60-pound bow down to that. They're going to shoot a lot of performance with this bow. So back to the draw weight, I can get this in a 20 to 30 pound peak, a 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and a 50 to 60. So you got a huge weight range there. Obviously 20 pounds is going to be for somebody who's brand new to shooting, maybe a kid who wants to work their way up, but lots of options there, which is really cool. So we get into some other things here. One thing that I really like that they did about this bow is they didn't cheapen things up for a women's bow, which it really drives me crazy how it's really hard to find a youth or a women's bow that has all the same features as the high-end men's bows. Usually they've got plastic limb pockets or kind of a cheesy cam on them. They did everything the same. So it's still, this is a machined riser here. It's not a cast riser. It's got all machined aluminum limb pockets. It's got the limb shocks, just like their high-end bows. The only thing it doesn't have that the other, like the Axius, do is that it has a cable slide here instead of the roller guard. And to be honest, I'm not really sure why they went that route. If I did have one complaint about this, that would probably be it. In terms of geometry, obviously You know, it's shrunk down for smaller statured people, but it's very well balanced. In fact, Lisa, who's the one of the owners here, it's the, you know, Wayne and Lisa own the bow rack, and we just literally set this thing up super basic. I mean, this is just a little AAE like Hawkeye rest. It is a limb driven fall away, but it's just super basic. You know, all we did was time it, set the arrow level through the burger hole, set center shot, and we shot it, and it shot pretty much a perfect bullet hole. It was like maybe a 1/4 inch tail high. So we just called that good. Lisa started shooting it. You know, she shoots the Matthews VXR normally, and first 5 arrows were all touching. Next round, she Robin Hooded the 6th, or this, I guess the 7th arrow she shot. She Robin Hooded an arrow. So it's obviously a very accurate little bow as well. And like I said, that's due to them not skimping on some of the features that give you that little extra rigidity in the riser, you know, higher performance cam, really tight tolerances on the limb pocket, makes this a very high-end bow. In addition to that, because there's less material on this bow, it's also a little bit cheaper. I think the MSRP for $899, I think we're gonna be selling them for $799 bare bow, and then we still have to figure out our kit price because we haven't got them in yet. But it's quiet. Lisa said it's really smooth in the hand. It draws nicely. It's not a super stiff draw, which when we heard the speed of it, we were worried that it was gonna have a stiff draw cycle because speed doesn't come for free, and usually it comes with a pretty radical cam. But it does. It draws extremely well, and it's just a really, really cool little bow. You know, if I had a wife or a girlfriend, or, you know, somebody who was looking to getting into hunting, and, you know, they'd had some bows, but they were always, for example, like the Mission line. I mean, they're good little bows, but there's just no performance there. This bow is gonna do it all. It's gonna be a serious shooter for them. So if I had a kid, or, you know, like I said, a girlfriend or a wife, or even if I was, you know, 5'7" and only wanted to pull 50 pounds, this is gonna shoot a lot more performance for me at those specs than taking like an Axius and backing everything way down and shooting at the shortest length of the cam. So, really cool bow. I know I've said that like 500 times, so I'm gonna shut up here. I'm gonna get the chronograph set up, and we're gonna probably gonna run 3 or 4 different arrows through this at weights that I think would be, you know, pretty common for somebody with this setup. So again, this is 24.5 inches, 50 pounds, so we'll see what kind of speeds we get out of it. Okay, so we got the chronograph set up behind me here. Again, this bow is at 50 pounds, 24.5 inches. I am pulling this right-handed, and it's like 6 inches too short for me, so I'm gonna look like an idiot, but that's not what this is about. This first arrow is gonna be definitely on the heavy end. I wouldn't expect a lot of people at these specs to be shooting an arrow this heavy. This is a 435 grain arrow, so we'll see what kind of speed it gives us here. That thing is sweet. It's got a solid back wall. 235 with a 440 grain arrow. That's actually, at that draw length, that's really impressive. This next arrow is 410 grains. .240, so 5 feet a second bump. This next arrow, so this would be a really common weight, I think. This is a 385 grain arrow. So most arrows, if you're shooting like, you know, a 500 spine arrow, you're going to be probably right around that 385 to 400 mark. .258, so pushing 260. That's crazy speed. And then this is a really light arrow. This is like a 352 grain, so let's call it 350. We'll see the speeds on this. Wow. That's awesome. So that came to, that can't be right. That's saying 279. So if that's true, that is freaking sweet. I'm gonna shoot that last one again and make sure that wasn't an error, because that seems really fast. All right, let's shoot that one again just to double check it. All right, reshooting of the 352 grain arrow. Okay, that's more like it. 269. I thought that seemed really fast on the last one, but still, 270 feet a second with a 350 grain arrow. I mean, if you're doing any sort of like 3D or outdoor target, you know, that's gonna be an awesome arrow speed and an arrow weight that's really easy to achieve. So I would highly recommend checking this out. We're waiting on our full shipment. They don't have a lot of options in camo. I think they offer like they've got like black, Kuyu, real tree. I have to double check, but I think they've got like 3 or 4 camo options. But should find one that'll suit your needs. So get down to your Hoyt dealer, go shoot this bow. I think this is probably gonna be one of the most popular women's bows we've ever sold, you know, right behind the Avail. You know, Matthews is coming out with the new women's bow this year as well, so curious to see what happens with that. Stay tuned for that review. All the new Matthews bows are gonna be coming out November 17th, so hopefully by the 20th, I'll have my hands on a bunch of bows and we'll start doing some more reviews. So I hope that gives you guys a good idea of what this bow is capable of. I think you'll love it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, it really helps us out. And as usual, remember to keep them in the middle. Precision is the decision, and I'll see you on the range.